Switched it.
Okay, can you guys hear me right now? Please just confirm that you can hear me right now. Let me know if you can hear me now. Please just confirm. Oh, okay, great. There is sound now. Apologies for that. So let's just move on really quickly. So I said that today I'm going to be teaching. So I was trying to see if I could write via uh, my app, but I'm not really seeing the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to just take out my ads from the screen. Just a minute. I want to take out some of my ads from the screen because I don't want hair. Great. So I prefer this. So here it is, right? First thing that I'm going to be talking about today is this guy here, right? I want you guys to see this. This guy here called your click-through rate, right? Your click-through rate. It's called CTR. I want the programs manager to type for me in the comments, right? What is your CTR? Your CTR is simply your click-through rate. And the question that we're answering in this class is, how do you calculate your click-through rate? Your click-through rate is simply the number of clicks that you get on an ad that you're running divided by the number of impressions. Impressions is the number of people that have seen that ad times 100. So the number of clicks on your ad, this means if 5 people see your ad, how many people actually click on it? Can you confirm if I'm still live? Because my laptop just tripped. Right? So, as I was saying, right, is the number of so if you're running an ad, right, and 500 people see that ad, if 500 people see the ad that you're running right now, and out of 500 people, 5 people clicked on the ad, how does Facebook calculate your click-through rate? Click-through rate is very important because it actually determines whether or not your ad is going to be expensive or cheap. So you can be running the same ad on 2 different accounts, or you can be running the same type of ad in 2 separate, ways. And at the end of the day, you realize that you had you spent 20,000 naira on this one, and then you spent 50,000 naira on this one. Ad with the same content, you're running an ad with the same content, the same headlines, everything is the same. However, one ad gets more expensive than the other. Additionally, sometimes you know what we call A/B testing, right? So you know this thing where you try to compare 2 ads to see how good they are performing. So let me just show you that, right? How do you do this? So you see, when we're talking about CTR, and the word here is CTR. The word C here means your click. C here means through. And then R here means rate. So you're saying click through rate. And I told you, it's simply, Meta is simply saying, I want to see how interested people are in your ads. Okay, so Meta is simply saying, I want to see the number of interest. I want to see if what you are actually marketing is something that people are interested in. And the psychology behind this is that if people are interested, if what you're selling catches the fancy of people, if 10 people, I don't need the mic, if 10 people, right, see your video and 2 people click on that video, right, that ad is going to be cheaper than an ad where 10 people see the ad and nobody clicks on it. So I hope that everybody is following. Just let me know in the comments if you're actually understanding what I'm saying. So that's what CTR is. And I said, how is it calculated? It's simply clicks over impressions times 100. That is how it is calculated. Clicks over impressions times 100. So if your ad is shown to 2,000 people, and out of 2,000 people, right, 20 people click on it, you times that by 100. And that's how you get your CTR. Now, the question that we always ask ourselves as people who are running ads every single day is, what should be my target CTR when I am running social media ads? Please close the door. What should be my target CTR? And for me, I like to keep mine between 1.5 to 2%. Ideally, it should be around 2%. The more the lower your click-through rate, the more expensive your ad gets. Most of my ads are around 1.8, 2%, and all that, and I'm going to show you practically, right? The next thing that I want to highlight to you guys is your CPC. There are just 3 very important jargons that you need to know if you run ads every day. Your CPR, your CPC, and your CPM. Your CPC is simply your cost per click. So remember that in CPR I said it's the number of clicks you have divided by the number of impressions you have. Now we are now under CPC, we are now measuring how each of those clicks is priced. So you can say, okay, it costs 50 naira. It costs 50 naira for one person to click on my ad. And I always say that when it comes to real estate ads are a little bit more expensive than every other type of ad. Why? Because you're selling products that are worth millions of naira. You can't compare your cost per click to your friend that is selling a parfait or that is selling banana bread on social media. So whereas the person that is selling banana bread or parfait might be spending 50 naira per click. I remember the last class I gave you guys an example. When I ran the ad for this free class, right, I spent under 40 naira per registration. And at the end of the day, I got about 200 plus registrations for around 18,000 naira. So I think it's even less than 40 naira, right? Whereas if that was actually if that was an ad that I was running to sell a plot of land, I would probably be spending around 200, 300, 500, 1,000 naira per click to land on my WhatsApp or to fill my pre-qualification form. Now, the third and last, abbreviation that I would like to teach you guys in this class is your CPM. And CPM is so important. It's like cost per mile. And what this means is that why this is relevant to you as someone running real estate ads is that many times the CPM for real estate ads can get quite high, especially based on the type of location that you're targeting. So if you're targeting luxury locations, but if you're targeting, let's say in Abuja now, in the FCT, you decide to start targeting places like Asokoro, like Buzape, like Katampe Extension. These are highbrow areas. These are expensive locations, and of course, based on what makes CPM high is actually competition. And you know that there are hundreds of realtors that are running social media ads, that are running Instagram ads every day to get to target this same market that you're trying to target. So that is what makes, you know, your CPM high. So many times, a lot of us, one thing I just want to say at this point is a lot of us are always too fast to judge our ads. So you've never run an ad in your life. This is the first time that you're running an ad. You've never used the accounts that you're using to run an ad before. And all of a sudden, because your ad starts running, and in the first 24 hours or 48 hours, either your C, most times this thing just cut across board. So let's just say that your click-through rate is quite high, right? Let's say that your click-through rate is quite, sorry, it's quite low. It's quite low, and your cost per click is quite high. Because of that, you just run and turn off the ad. But sometimes you do not know that the more impressions that your ad gets, the better it will get with time. That's why I always advise. For me, I say allow your ad to run for at least 72 hours before deciding whether or not you want to either scale that ad or kill it completely. So let's go and look at analytics and see practically what we're talking about in this class. Two things I would like to know before I go to the practical part of this class is, can everybody hear me clearly? Is everybody following this class clearly? And do you actually understand what I'm talking about here? Tell me in the comments, just so that I know that you're with me and that you're following me very well in this class, and we'll get started. As always, we'll go to, you know, practicals. Great, I have only one feedback. I'd like to have much more feedback so that I can just know that everyone is following. If we don't have enough people in class, then I don't know. I just hope that we can have much more feedback. So if you can hear me clearly, you understand what I have taught on CPR, CPC, and CPM. Just let me know in the comments that you understand me clearly. Okay, I think that's the number of responses that I'm going to get here. So today I'm going to be talking about, the next thing I'm going to be talking about today is so important, and it's the fact that a lot of realtors are getting frustrated with running ads because you're spending a lot on ads, your ads are getting a lot of reach, a lot of impressions, but you're actually either not getting inspections or you're not getting genuine clients. So a lot of people are reaching out to you from your ads, but it's either they are just not serious people. So someone can just reach out and talk about your property, and then at the end of the day, there is no inspection, there is no level of, the level of seriousness doesn't actually move from where it is to the next level. And you know that as realtors, there are two very important things for us. The first is you see us, the second is you reach out to us and you schedule an inspection, whether or not it is, whether it is a virtual or a physical inspection. We just want to get you to site because many times it is actually easier for you to convert someone, a client that you take to site, and you get to show them what you have. And on that, at the point of inspection is usually the decision making point where the clients can decide whether or not they want to proceed or they would like to see other properties. But the point of inspection is where you can actually determine whether or not the client likes what you're offering to them. So how do you actually, qualify the leads that come to you? This is because, like I said, a lot of realtors get frustrated because they are running ads. The people are, their ads are getting a lot of reach, but they are not converting. So the point from awareness to lead to conversion. So what this part of this class is about is actually awareness to leads, because conversions mostly happen in the field. 70% of real estate transactions, conversions happen in the field. Either you're doing a virtual tour for the client and then they seal the deal, or the client comes to you physically to seal the deal at the site after seeing the site or after seeing the project. So what we need to deal with in this class when it comes to running ads is from point of awareness to point of leads. And the question is, how do you pre-qualify your clients? How do you stop your funnels from getting on serious clients? How do you stop your ads from just getting to people who are not serious about buying real estate? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So one of the things that I have decided to do is to always pre-qualify my leads. So anybody who is serious about buying a 10 million naira property or 20 million naira property or even 5 or 3 million naira property should not have a problem with being pre-qualified, right? So if you're a realtor, and that means that you have different properties, right? One of the things that you should put on your ad is a form that can pre-qualify your leads. A form. And what is the process of pre-qualification? Is asking your potential leads different questions. So for example, let's say that we are setting up an ad, right? We're setting up an ad, and we're using the awareness, objective. In previous classes, we have talked about why awareness objective is the simplest if you're a beginner. Number one, in most situations, your cost per click when you're running an awareness ad is going to be very much lower than when you're running a sales ad. Number two, many times as a realtor, you're not actually sending your clients to a website. In Nigeria, for example, I don't really see the reason why you're selling real estate and then you're running ads and you're sending clients to a website, because Nigerians like WhatsApp, Nigerians like direct calls when it comes to buying properties. So why exactly are they going to your website? It's better you send them a form where they fill, and then you contact them directly on WhatsApp or via call, or you get them to call you, or you get them to message you directly on WhatsApp. Now, when you have established contact on WhatsApp, you can then send them the link to your website to check out the particular project that you're selling. I think that is a better way for you to maximize your ad budget. So again, I'm just explaining why many times we just simply go for the awareness objective. So here we're just going to say this is client's pre-qualification class. So, right, what I always advise you to name your campaign. Make sure that you name your campaign. Again, I've said this in previous classes. This name is only personal to you. Nobody saying your ad is actually going to see whatever you name your campaign. I'm going to mention something here about special ads categories. When you are running ads to Nigerians in diaspora, and of course you know that this is real estate ads, I always advise you to declare your ads under special arts category. If you see down here, you will see the word categories. If you click the drop down, you will see financial products and services. This applies to arts for credit cards, long-term financings, accounts, investment services. Then the second option is employment. The third option is housing. That's for arts for real estate listings, homeowners insurance, mortgage, and other opportunities. Now, when you're running your ads within Nigeria, your account will not actually be flagged. Neither will your ad be questioned if you do not declare it under special category. But I have noticed that if you're running your ads to Nigerians in diaspora, unless there is, one workaround, which I'm not going to talk about in this class, right? I always just advise you, especially if you're a beginner, to just declare your ads under the special category. There are one or two things that they're going to require of you when you do that, but just go ahead. It's nothing complex. So when you come down here, you see your buying type. There are two options usually available here. You click the drop down, you see auction and you see reservation. You just choose the option that is already there, which is the auction, right? And then when you come here, remember the last class I also said that recently Meta is trying to really simplify ads for the common man. So there is Advantage Plus for everything. Advantage Plus audiences, Advantage Plus placements, Advantage Plus, even Advantage Plus budgets, right? But then you just leave that off. I don't advise you to turn that on. I want you to use your own budget. So you go next, and then we're just going to go on. Now here you have the ad sets. We're just going to say that clients free ad one sets ad set one, right? And then we move on and we see that. So these are the things that I really want to talk to you guys about, right? Here you see the performance goal. The question is, this is one thing I always say. Ads are not difficult. Nothing in life is difficult. If you do not know how to simplify things, then you're going to enter the level of difficulty. When you say, how do you measure the success of your ad? You're simply saying, what do I want this ad to achieve for me? Maximize the reach of your ad simply means that you want Meta to show this ad to as many people as possible. If your goal for that campaign is awareness, there is a campaign that I ran. I started running in February. I ran between February and mid-May. I allocated a 9,000 naira daily budget for that campaign for over 2 months. Why? Because, and the video wasn't really a sales video. It was a video that showcased the beauty of the city that I am marketing that particular project in. Why? I just wanted that video to reach as many people as possible. As many people as possible. As many people as possible. So here your goal is, I just want as many people as possible, and as many people as possible actually now depends on your budget, right? So the second is maximize the number of impressions. I always explain to my students, of course, I don't have a paid this thing, so when I say my students, just my free class that I do all the time, right? I always explain that the difference between reach and impression is, reach is as many people as possible, as many independent individuals as possible. Impressions is as many times as possible, like as many times to a particular set of people as possible. So for example, what this is saying is that for reach, if you are budgeting 10,000 naira, Meta can say that this 10,000 naira is going to get this ad to be shown to between 12,000 to 15,000 people. If you choose the option of maximizing the number of impressions, now you're also playing the mental game, because sometimes somebody just seeing an ad once doesn't mean that they are going to be converted, or your brand has been impressed in their minds. Remember that in this objective, it is awareness, right? So sometimes you might want to use the maximize the number of impressions because you want someone to see your ads at least 3 times so that they can remember, oh my God, I've seen this lady before. I know this face. I know this person. Right? Now, the third is an option that says maximize ad recall lift. Now, ad recall, and this is people who are likely to remember seeing them. This is just a proof to you guys that the algorithm is really messing with your psychology. Now, there's also the second part of this, which is like video view goals. Most of the times, this really applies to Facebook ads, right? So this first one is like maximize through paid views. So we show your ads to people who will watch the entire video when it's shorter than 15 seconds. And you know, of course, like you're selling real estate, most of the times, right, your videos are going to be between 30 seconds to 90 seconds. And then the second one is maximize 2-second continuous play videos. I do not even advise the second one because many times they are usually more profitable for animated videos. So you guys know that I can really see how many people are class. So just let me know in the comments that you are still following this class properly. So we move on, right? We move on. So we are choosing the option that says maximize reach of ads. So we go down and then we choose our budget, right? So because we just want um, something that's not so expensive, not so high up there, we're doing 9,000 naira per day, right? And then there is a start date, but I don't want an end date. I just want the ad to continue running. I want you guys to see something here. There is a budget scheduling session option, and then there is an ad scheduling option for you. If you did not choose the start date of your ad, this would have been clickable for you to click when you want your ad to start. So I can be setting up this ad today, but I want this ad to start running on the 15th of June at 3 p.m. Right? So we go and we do location, Nigeria. We have talked about a lot of these things, audience preferences and all of that. But when it comes to audience, there's something that I want to chip in this class today, right? I want you guys to take notes of this particular part of the audience. So, 2 things that I want you guys to take note of. Number one is that there are 3 types of audiences that you have, audience targeting that you need to pay attention to as a realtor because of the nature of your business. Number one, location targeting. Like choosing your audience based on location. The other day I explained this. If you're selling a property in the city of Abia, right, and you're targeting the whole of Nigeria, you're telling the algorithm to sieve people in the whole of Nigeria. Now, it's going to take a lot of money for the algorithm to find people in the whole of Nigeria who are interested, right? Who are interested in buying property in Abia State, right? But you want to be wide. However, if you were selling a property in Abuja, Abuja is currently the federal capital territory in Nigeria. So it's more like an aspirational location for real estate ownership for a lot of Nigerians. A lot of Nigerians want to own properties in the city of Abuja because it's the FCT. So they don't have to be from the FCT. They don't have to be from that state to want to buy property there. So if you are doing location targeting and you are as wide as Nigeria, which I don't advise you to be, right, when it comes to real estate, and I'm going to talk more deeply about this, right? You can do that for a location like Abuja or Lagos because no matter where people are from in Nigeria, they want to buy real estate in these two cities. Now, the second type of audience that audience targeting that you should be very interested in as a realtor running real estate ads is interest-based targeting. Interest-based targeting, in simple English, ABC means you are targeting people based on what they like, based on what they're interested in. And what does this mean? If someone is interested in Ankara, it simply means that if I'm selling Ankara palazzo trousers, they will be interested in buying it if they wear trousers. It means that if somebody has been searching for Ankara palazzo trousers on Instagram and your ad suddenly pops up with the perfect Ankara palazzo trousers that fit their budget, they are more likely going to click your ads compared to someone who doesn't like Ankara. So it's the same thing. If someone has been communicating with their friends or searching out certain locations, real estate development and projects in certain locations, and they are not realtors, right? It means that if you actually target them based on that interest, for example, real estate investing, for example, terrace apartments, for example, estate land, these are interests so that is like an area that you should be very interested in. I always say something. I say when it comes to real estate, I always tell realtors who run ads that if you have a powerful combination of proper location targeting plus interest targeting, you have a perfect ad. Why? Because when we talk about the third one, which is behavioral targeting, here we're talking about the attitude of people, how people behave when they're on social media. So maybe in the last 30 days, they have shopped using certain websites. Maybe they have booked flights using certain websites. They are connected to their phones. They are frequent travelers. Basically, behavioral patterns, right? They are using certain devices. They are accessing their social media accounts using certain devices, right? So that's behavioral patterns, and that's a deep level. However, if you want to be basic and you just want to start and you want to have results, I can just say do a perfect combination of location targeting and interest-based targeting. That's what I was going to say about that. You can go back and see the class that I taught on custom audiences and retargeting options. It's here on the channel under the live videos. So let's just move on. Right, so we now move on to continuing setting up this ad, right? And I said that we'll not really do any serious stuff, right? We're just going to try to see how this ad is going to look. Now, when you get to this page, and this is the most important thing that I now want to show you guys here. So here you still, name your ad here, right? And then when you come down here to your ad setup, there are three options, right? The third option is, something that a lot of people are not very familiar with. So I'm just going to focus on the first two, which is you either create your ad using fresh content that you already have on your laptop, whether it's a video or a flyer, or you can select an existing content. You can select an existing content. And remember what I always say, right? What I always say about ads. How do you pre-qualify your content for ad? If an ad has done well, right? If an ad has done well as a video, that means there's a possibility that this ad would do well as a paid ad. So let's say that you posted a video, a content that talks about buying properties in a certain location. So you infused a little bit of humor and all of that into it. And 20 people who you do not know personally, you know that as content creators, there's a part where you ask your family members, your friends to comment on your posts. On this particular point, 20 people that do not know you, or let's even say 10 people that don't know you before, that just found your content, and then they are saying, oh my God, this is so lovely. What ads is simply doing for you is scaling that. So the psychology is, if 10 people that have never known me before and never seen me before could love and relate to this video, it means that if I scale this video to be seen by 10,000 people, maybe I would find 100 more people in addition to these 10 people that would love this video and relate to it. Now, the question is now, or the important point is now for us, how do we pre-qualify this audience, right? How do we get them to not be useless leads? And this is where I say the simplest thing, if you don't have a website, create a Google form. Create a Google form, and on top of the form, you are simply saying, this form is to help me relate with you better, for example. This form is to help me serve your needs properly as a realtor and gets you to find the perfect property that suits your needs. You ask for name, you ask for phone number, preferably WhatsApp number, and then you ask two very important questions. Number one, the first question that I advise you to ask is, what property, what type of property are you looking for right now? And then you give them options. The first option should probably be the property that you advertised in the video. Remember that as a realtor, people expect you to have a lot of listings in your portfolio. So it's not just the video that you have in your portfolio that people expect to see when they reach out to you. So you could say, are you looking to buy the property that you saw in the video advertised in my ad, or you are looking for another kind of property in another location? Second question is, what is your budget range for your purchase? Number one, when somebody tells you they don't have a budget, that's a blatant lie, because they always have a budget. So you are pre-qualifying your needs so that you do not waste your time. A lot of people that reach out to realtors on social media in Nigeria are time wasters. So as a realtor, you want to find a way to cut down on how much of your time is wasted. I advise you to have a maximum of 5 questions. Do not have more than 5 questions in your pre-qualification form for people that are going to buy from you. Do not have more than 5 questions for a start. So maybe with time, if it's business. So with time, you can see what is working, what is not working. 2 questions, 2 primary questions that are constant are the name of the person and their phone number. 3 other questions. Number 1, I am saying that you need to find out from this person if they are interested in the particular property that you marketed in that video. If yes, they should specify which of the properties they are interested in. Probably if you have 300 square meter, 500 square meter, 450, 1000 square meter, let them indicate which of the plot sizes, or if you are selling houses, the house type that they're interested in. Number 2, you need to find out if the answer to the third question is no, they are not interested in that particular property that you marketed in that ad. What type of property are they looking for? Look out for the location that they are looking for, so that you know firsthand whether you have that in your portfolio or you need to start looking afresh. You also want to ask them, most importantly, what their budget is, the budget that they are working with. Now, please note that this is not a hook, line, and sinker rule. There are some people that will just prefer that they see your ad, they call you, and they get to talk to you on the phone. But one of the things that I want to help you do is to cut down on your frustration. A lot of people say, I'm running ads, I'm not getting results. A lot of my ads are getting 100,000 views. I have not made any sale. 50 people are commenting, I am interested on my ad, I am not making sale. Introduce a pre-qualification form to your ad, and I want you to see how this can take your ad from 1 to 8. So this is how far I can go in this class. I just wanted to share these very important gems. I am going to put together a next class that I'm going to inform you guys, and I'll just treat every other thing. The goal of this series is to help you solve your ad problems. If you have any problem that you particularly want to call my attention to, not shere issue, anything serious with your ads, you can send me an email at workwithestherrock@gmail.com, and I'll read from you and I'll respond to your inquiries. So thank you so much everyone for joining this class. It was nice to talk to you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments. I'll just give 30 seconds for that before I get signed out. Remember the basic rules. Make sure that your ad creative, your videos sell more than flyers. Videos sell real estate more than flyers. When you're running ads, videos sell real estate more than flyers. Remember also that I said that you need to prioritize content, because whatever cannot impress your organic audience will not impress your paid audience. Ads is simply you scaling what you are doing. So if organically you could reach 100 people, ad will help you reach 10,000 people. So it's not like anything changes in the middle of it. Thank you so much everyone for joining this class. I'll see you on the next one since we do not have any questions. Bye.